There's a lot of mosquitoes out there. Oh, wow. All night, every time I woke up, it was just a constant hum. And literally thousands of them on the tent right now. It doesn't make me that excited to get out of bed. A little sprinkle of rain coming down. I'll drape my coat, my raincoat over top of the camera. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of current until you try paddling against it. Those are absolutely wolf tracks. That's pretty cool. They don't look like they've been there that long either. Fresh in that wet sand. That's neat to see. Sharing the river with wolves.
Just paddling along. Saw this stand of young birch. Thinking one of them might be good for a poling stick for getting across James Bay tidal flats. I don't want to wait too long and kind of run out of good trees, so I'm going to see if there's something up there that I can make into a good poling stick. Found myself a fairly straight birch tree, chopped it down. I'm not even sure if this poling along there is going to work. Figured it's worth a try though.
Sun's come out. I'm gonna try and dry out my socks and shoes. Going barefoot again for a little while. Feels nice. Just took a quick second to jump out of the boat and cut a nice little birch stick that'll work for my polar. Should be good to go now. A little swarm of black flies following us, but should be able to lose them pretty quick. Looking pretty dark back there.
Here's some thunder rumbling, so we're kind of hoping that's not gonna come this way, but it's also not looking overly good. I have to bail my boat out soon. Got like a good inch of water in the bottom now. So it's now beautiful sunny day, but it's still pouring rain. Go figure.
That was a crazy storm that just blew through. Had over an hour of torrential rain. We thought was going to maybe pass behind us. Started to rain a little bit, some big drops started coming down. We scrambled to get all our gear packed away, and within a couple of minutes it was just a downpour. But it's cleared out now, and there's a beautiful blazing warm sun coming out. So that should help to get us dried out again. That was cool. We just came around the corner and ran into that little bear. Jay was just saying it must be nature day. In the last like 3 hours, we've seen more geese and ducks and cranes and ravens nesting and all kinds of stuff. Unfortunately, it was pouring rain and couldn't get my camera.
Probably only 6 or 7K from James Bay now, so filled up a couple of my water bottles here. Not sure how long we can go before the water gets brackish. I'm gonna start looking for a campsite soon. Over. Oh, hold on. The dogwood stuff.
Probably going to be where my hands are. Perfect. Good idea.
Instead of this little knife, I guess I'll switch to your hatchet.
Leave that laying there to dry overnight, and I'll probably forget it in the morning.
Tonight, I'm gonna make this stick into other sticks.
Jay and I have just been laying in our tents here. He's over in his next door, and we've just been going over our maps for tomorrow, trying to make a plan and deal with all the variables and distance and tide and river currents and everything. So we've got to paddle a couple kilometers from here down the rest of the Partridge till we hit tidewater in James Bay, and then we're paddling west along the coast about 10 or so K to get to the mouth of the Moose River, and then it's another 12, maybe 15 up the Moose River to get to Moosonee. So it's a good day regardless, but when you mix in the tide and all the fluctuations, lots of unknowns, and it's kind of making things interesting. But we'll figure that out in the morning. For now, it's going to lay in here, sheltered from the bugs, and try and get a good night's sleep. Okay, we've packed along a shotgun on this trip. It's the first time I've done that on a canoe trip, but just because James Bay there is the potential to bump into polar bears, we decided we would bring one along just in case. I think the thread's pretty low, but it's a gorgeous cloud-free sunny morning.
Enjoys long walks on the beach in shin-deep water.
Water here now, we can paddle. Oh, it's slow going. Maybe it's that it's so big and there's no landmarks, so you can't gauge your progress at all out here. But wow, sure is beautiful anyway. Taking a stop and getting some water and maybe a little snack. Very slow going. Very slow. You can watch the tide come in here. Just a few minutes ago where our boats are sitting, both of them were pretty much out of the water. But now, water's right up past the bow. So the tide is definitely on the rise. That was quite a slog to get here, but we finally reached the mouth of the Moose River. I paddled out offshore a little ways trying to find deep water. Slogging along the bank was not much fun. It's a little choppy here where the currents meet, but we've made it.
Making no headway against this wind on the Moose River. So we're going to see if we can just track our boats up the shore. Hopefully there's a little bit less wind once we get up to the Horseshoe Islands. Back to pulling with my stick. We tracked a couple K upriver, hoping that the wind might die down a bit more, but still it's a little bit less windy. Actually, the wind's probably the same. It's a little bit less choppy. But we're just getting tired of dragging the canoes, so we're gonna try to see if we can paddle / pull for a ways.
Well, as you can clearly see, we didn't make it into Moosonee. We had all the best intentions today of getting into Moosonee to make the train this evening. But the river, the current of the river combined with the tide and a really strong headwind just meant that we couldn't make much progress. Spent most of the day walking along in shin-deep water, dragging our boats along. Took a toll on my back for sure. We had hit the high tide and it started dropping, and we just couldn't make any progress paddling. Between tide, current, wind, we're just fighting and fighting and fighting to paddle and couldn't, we were barely moving. So we stopped here on the shore decided to take a break. My back needed a rest, and then we just decided we weren't going to make it today. We didn't have enough time. So we're here for the night, and we'll try to make it tomorrow. We've got a few days until the next train runs, so don't really know what we're going to do, but we'll see. Plans changed again. We were sitting on shore just talking about what we were going to do tomorrow, and we realized that the tide was rising and we had a wind blowing upstream. So 2 of the 3 things that we were fighting today, out of tide, wind, and current, were in our favor, and we thought we better make the most of it. The tide's going to take about 6 hours to peak, so that'll be well after midnight. But it's turned out to be a gorgeous night for a paddle. The sun's going down and we're still paddling. We figure we've got maybe a little less than an hour. There's a provincial park on an island right out from Moosonee, so we're going to head for that and see if we can find a spot to set up for the night. It's 9:45. Gonna pick up on me at all? Alright, I'm in the tent. We made it into camp. Found a spot to camp for the night. It's a little different, but I'll update you in the morning because I'm wet and tired and cold and ready for bed. Morning. It's a windy and rainy morning here at Tidewater Provincial Park. We were able to pretty easily find a site here when we arrived and get everything set up in the dark, but yeah, worked out alright. It's a nice little spot. We're directly across the river now from Moosonee, on an island between Moosonee and Moose Factory. So we're going to post up here for a little bit waiting for our train to come in. We're the only ones, it looks like, camped on the entire island. So we're on our own here. We have the whole island to ourselves. I have to say thank you to Virgil, to Chad, and the rest of the crew of guys we ran into, and girl, that we ran into when we got here. Just when we arrived at Tidewater. They were extremely generous and friendly and shared some food with us and a couple beers, and it was great. So it's nice to meet all you guys, and hopefully next time we're back to Moosonee, we run into you again.
So that is Tidewater Provincial Park, where we're camped for a few days until the train comes in so we can get out of here on Monday. Just did a little grocery run here, headed back to camp. Some Moosonee Deluxe here. Egg, garlic bread, burger. Doesn't get much better than that. Well, it does, but that's all we got to work with. And it costs like $60.
Good morning. It's a beautiful sunny morning for our last little paddle across the Moose River. Literally not a cloud in the sky.
trip. Canoe worked really good, floated the whole way. I'd like to thank my sponsors, but I don't actually have any, so.
All right. It was a great trip. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Anyways, I'm gonna sign off here.